Today's confession comes from SugerLips. That's what I got here. Simon and team, says SugerLips. I have something that I need to confess. This has been on my mind since the early 1990s, and I now think it's time to confess and ask for forgiveness. I moved to Birmingham from Birkenhead in 1991 after marrying a Brummie lad who I met in Blackpool in 1988. I started working in a department store called Rackham's, a very famous department store in the city centre. I worked in the menswear office, and my friend Muffin and our manager was Chuff Chuff.
Not real names.
Okay.
So it is the Thursday before Good Friday. Oh, it's a seasonal.
Yeah.
And our manager, Chuff Chuff, came to work with a medium-sized chocolate buttons Easter egg for both Muffin and I. What a lovely thing for her to do, I thought. We thanked her and we put the eggs to one side. Chuff Chuff was a lovely lady. We respected her a lot. We always had a good laugh with her, but also got our work done for her. She was a great manager. So there's the context.
Okay.
So around 11 a.m, Chuff Chuff went for her... It's very tiring now, isn't it? Went for her morning coffee break. While she was gone, Muffin and I decided to open our Easter eggs. A little bit early, I know, but the chocolate was just there, looking at us. No, it wasn't.
No, it was still in the package. Yeah.
I looked at Muffin and said, we could eat the buttons, couldn't we? Wrap the eggs back up, and then when Chuff gets back, open them again and tell her that the buttons are missing. We found this hilarious and we fell about laughing at our little joke, so we proceeded. We unwrapped the eggs carefully, we ate the buttons, they were delicious. Then we wrapped the eggs up, put them back in the box and put them on the shelf where they'd been. I would say don't do any of this at home because it's not a good thing. Chuff Chuff came back from her break and we were both giggling like naughty children, but we just made up some excuse and Chuff believed us. About 30 minutes later, I got up and picked up my egg. Chuff said, oh, no, you shouldn't be doing that. It's not Easter. And I replied, I'm only eating the buttons and I'm going to save the egg. Muffin couldn't look at me because she knew what was coming next. So I opened the egg only to discover, Father Simon, that the buttons were missing. OMG, I said. There are no... Well, not that we said that back in the day. There are no buttons in this egg. The look of horror on Chuff Chuff's face was hard to take without laughing. She then told Muffin to open hers, and guess what? You'll never guess. It's the same. The buttons were missing. Well, Chuff was furious. She got the telephone directory, because that's what you did.
He did, yeah.
She looked for the phone number, and we can do this now because they don't exist. Woolworths in Birmingham.
Okay.
And she called them. She demanded to speak to the manager. Muffin and I couldn't look at each other. It was the best bit of acting we'd ever done. The Woolworths manager comes on the phone and Chuff proceeded to tell her, furiously, how she'd bought 2 Easter eggs that morning for her children. However, she'd let them open them early only to discover that the buttons were missing. She told them how upset her 2 children were as they were so looking forward to them. The manager was very, very apologetic and then asked her for the batch number from the egg boxes as they would need to report it to the manufacturers. Again, we just sat there carrying on with our work, not looking at each other because we would have given the game away. Well, the Woolworths manager asked Chuff if she could go back to the shop with the eggs, and she said she couldn't as the children had now eaten the chocolate eggs. They said, well, if you go in the next day with your receipt, that they will sort it out for her. Okay, all right. So we broke up for the Easter weekend, and then the following Tuesday, Chuff Chuff went to Woolworths on her way to work to see the manager. She showed them her receipt, and the manager apologised again for the disappointment that had been caused to her children. They then packed carrier bags full of sweets and chocolate treats, emptying the shelves for her children to enjoy, and she said, I certainly hope that it hadn't ruined their Easter. Well, Chuff came into the office with these bags and gave them to me and Muffin. She was so pleased with what they'd done, but still shocked that the company would send Easter eggs out without buttons. Oh, she needs to get over herself then, really. Anyway, we enjoyed our treats for the rest of the week. Couldn't find it within ourselves to confess. Until now. I haven't seen Chuff since 97, but I'm sure she's going to be listening, and she will recognise this story and know exactly who has told it. Yes, it's SugerLips.
Of course.
There you go. Please can I ask for forgiveness for this extraordinary confession? I'm now 50 years old, and it's been like a weight on my shoulders since my early 20s. Every time I eat chocolate buttons, the deceit comes rushing back. Also, I would like to say, did we add to the demise of Woolworths? Our bags of free confectionery, was it the final straw in the collapse of this high street icon? I suspect they were. Anyway, I'm very sorry. Yours faithfully, SugerLips. Let's see where we go. It could have been just the straw that broke the camel's back of Woolworths, and that's why they disappeared. Sister Katie.
Yeah, absolutely, and I just can't forgive that. I used to love Woolworths. They had great pick and mix there.
Yeah.
So
Let's blame SugerLips.
you're in trouble. And yeah, Chuff just sounded like she was rather stressed, and I really feel for the Woolworths manager that had to take that call, because it just won't be a nice job to be the person receiving those complaints. No. And you added an extra complaint to that line of calls. So, SugerLips, I'm sorry, you're not forgiven.
Yes, okay, a brother from another guy.
I mean, to be fair, this all spiraled out of control, really, didn't it, from SugerLips? All she did was have the chocolate buttons. And I think the rules are pretty clear. You are allowed to have the sweets before the Bond movie on Easter Monday. It's only the egg that must be kept. Yeah, you can't eat the egg until the Bond movie on Easter Monday. That's very clear in the law. Is
that in the Bible or something?
It is in the Bible
Okay.
and the law.
Right.
So I'm going to forgive because, no idea what was going to happen. And frankly, there were other things going on with Woolies. And so, no straw, no camel's back, and no buttons. So, forgiven.